Guys, it's Rich with your Monday Spot on the Pagan Perspective, and this week we're talking about a religious registry. This week's topic comes from Samantha, who writes, "A few days ago, some co-workers, knowing that I'm pagan, asked me how I felt about Trump's Muslim registration idea. Because the conversation got to the point where we all started thinking, this is where it starts. First Muslims, then non-Christians, then everyone has to register their religion. So I was curious to know what the pagan community thought about the possibility of having to register their personal religion in a national database. Would you lie to save yourself from possible persecution later? Would you fight it or just give in?" This is a topic that I kind of went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to actually do it. And basically it's because I'm in the military. And being in the military, I want to express right now that the opinions expressed in this video are not that of the United States military or the United States Air Force as a whole. They are my personal views, and since he is my boss, I will not be saying any of the derogatory comments that are out there, such as the Grand Cheeto, the comb-over extraordinaire, or T-Rump. Those will not be said in this video. As a military member, I take an oath to uphold the Constitution, to defend the Constitution, to obey the orders of the President of the United States and the officers appointed over me. This is only including the lawful orders. If something is unlawful, I have the capability of denying to obey those orders. That is something that is expressed in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. It is something that you can definitely disobey those orders if they are not lawful. So with that being said, let's get into this video. So the Muslim registry is not something that is technically new, and it was a quote-unquote Muslim registry. It wasn't necessarily for all Muslims. It wasn't in the span that was discussed during the campaign of the current administration. The current administration has said about a database being for all Muslims within the nation. It has since gone from everybody to just the ones coming in. Okay, that was something that George W. Bush did, and it got a lot of flack, and I don't think it was necessarily a good thing to do. At the time, it seemed like a good idea because of 9/11 at the time. It was shortly after that, and then it kind of went away after that. But I would say that it was a good, quick fix at the time, given the surroundings of 9/11 and going into Afghanistan and later into Iraq. And if any of you want to read a good book that talks about the surrounding issues going into Iraq, I would suggest Colin Powell's book, It Worked For Me. A fantastic book, cannot recommend it enough. It talks a lot about leadership, but in the later part of the book, it actually talks about the information that came about with us eventually heading into Iraq, the misinformation and the result from that. And he does it in such a way that, yes, he takes full accountability for what happened, for the screw-ups that happened within his office, but he also explains what wasn't explained at the time. So I do suggest reading that if any of you are interested in the Iraq war. But anyway, this isn't about the Iraq war. This is about a Muslim registry. And the way the current administration proposed it during the campaign was that everybody be registered. They would set up points at mosques. They would set up at DMVs, stuff like that, and have it on their driver's license as saying that they were Muslim. I totally disagree with this stance. A registry of any religion completely terrifies me. It is indicative of 1930s and 1940s Germany. And if you don't think the Holocaust were real, I have to say do your history a little bit further, because it is totally real. And it is frightening what could come about if this type of registry, the way that the current administration proposed during the campaign of putting them in DMVs and in mosques and everything for a registry of all Muslims, it completely terrifies me. Having people register their religion is not something that this country was founded upon. This country was founded upon religious freedom. You could be whatever religion you wanted to be in this country. And that's the principles, the first and foremost principle that this country was founded upon. The First Amendment, and I'm going to read it verbatim here, is Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. With that being said, I think that having a Muslim registry, or having any registry of any religion, would be going against the First Amendment. And I would hope that the courts would fight for our First Amendment rights to not have any prohibition of our religious rights being able to be practiced. This country was founded on these religious freedoms, and it's something that not all countries have, and it's one that I think makes us uniquely special, and it's a right that I am willing to fight and to die for. So I think that if there were a Muslim registry, or any registry for any religion, I think it's the first step on a slippery slope that could lead to a lot of persecution. I said I would probably fight to not have my religion put on any type of registry, and if I did register, I'd probably register as spiritual. I once got into a discussion with somebody at work, and they asked me, because I brought up that it was against somebody's religion to do their job. It was an offhanded comment, meant to just be funny, and he laughed and he says, "What's your religion?" And I told him that that's a loaded question. And he kind of left it at that. And it got me thinking, I don't have a specific religion. I have a spiritual practice that is unique to me, that is not taught in any university, any church, any synagogue, anything out there. It's my religious practice is not something that is necessarily a tradition. It is not something that is out there for the masses. It may be in the future, but it isn't right now, and it's something that's not specifically recognized as a religion. So I would have to register as spiritual. I could register as Christian, but that's only half of my practice. Unfortunately, if I had to register, that's probably what I would register as, because that is a large portion of my practice. And that's not to be a cop-out either, or to say that I would cave in and just, do that to save my own skin or anything. It's a big part of my practice. Maybe I would even put on there Christo-pagan and just see people give me the sideways look like, what's that? I don't know exactly what I would do in that situation. It's something that I hope I never have to make the decision to put on any type of registry. And whether or not I stay in the military, I will continue to fight for people's First Amendment rights to practice their faith in whatever way they need to or want to. Because as long as if it's not infringing on anybody else's rights, you should be able to freely practice your faith in whatever way makes sense to you. That is what this country was founded upon, and that's what I will continue to fight for. no matter what your religion is. So if they brought forth a registry, I'd probably refuse for the longest time and fight it for the longest time until I finally had to put something down. And even then, I would continue to fight for those people who are being persecuted against, whether it be because they are Muslim or because they are pagan. It wouldn't matter. Their religious freedoms are being infringed upon, and that is directly against the First Amendment rights. So hopefully it won't, but only time will tell whether or not this becomes a reality. But I think I've rambled on for long enough, and that's all that I have for this week's video. Next week is Subs Week, and I will catch you in April. I'm going to hopefully try to pre-record some of April's videos because I may still be in my hobo status of not necessarily having a home and not knowing where I'm going to be to record my videos and whatnot. So you still may see the background here and same clothes, or maybe I'll do them tomorrow or whatnot. But anyway, enough of that. Until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.